Oh, right.
Holy crap. Creeper cat.
Welcome. I think maybe we can start with like an introduction about us really quick.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, my name is Sarah.
And I'm Jess.
We are engaged.
We have to say it. Yeah.
We live in our Sprinter van, Lynn Van Well. Right now, it is a heat wave in the middle of July, and we are at my parents' house visiting. So we are inside because it's like 97 degrees outside with
110%.
100% humidity. It's so gross. So we're inside today.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do this Q&A. We get so many questions all the time about us and Ollie, and we thought we would answer some of those in one video for you.
Oliver's here to help. All right.
I'm in a death grip there.
You gotta. The first question that a lot of you have been asking us is, what is our dog training background? Thank you for asking. We actually have a little bit of a training background. Okay, rewind. Sarah and I have been together for over 7 years, and for the first 2 years of our relationship, I wanted a dog so badly. And we lived in an apartment, and that was not possible. And Sarah had never had a dog, so she was not that interested.
And we were both working full-time. You were working more than full-time. I was like, this is, no.
Then there was one day we were walking around at this little community fair, and we saw a company that fostered service dogs was looking for new fosters for their puppies. And all you had to do was attend some training classes with them and keep up with the dog's training, and the dogs got to live with you on the weekends and the weeknights, and they went to school during the day. So...
And Jess was like, this seems great. And I was like, we live in an apartment that does not allow dogs.
So we bought a house. And like the day we moved in, we met with the owner of the company, and she was like, you guys seem great. We did a little house check. And long story short, we started fostering these service dogs in training. So we would go to training classes a couple times a week. We would keep up with our dogs' training, and we learned a lot.
Yeah, so we did that for 3 years. Yeah, worked closely with 2 professional dog trainers and loved it.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great experience.
Along with you being very interested in dog training and watching so many videos and podcasts and
yeah,
so many things.
Yeah. I think I would also like to say that it was all positive reinforcement training. So that's all that we do.
Yes.
With Oliver, that's all that we've ever done with our service dogs. Positive reinforcement training and really teaching our dogs to make their own choices and to just learn the behaviors that we want them to have.
Yes. Number 2, why do you carry your puppy everywhere? We get a lot of comments like that. Like, your dog needs to learn how to walk, and your puppy's not going to be very small forever. Why are you teaching him to be carried and blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
And my answer to that is twofold. Number 1, we carry him when it's not safe for him to walk, when it's not safe for his paws to walk on super hot concrete in the middle of July. That also includes in situations where we don't want him meeting other dogs. He's not fully vaccinated yet, so if we're going for a walk and we are coming up to another dog, maybe it's a tighter situation and we don't have enough room to let them pass like far apart, we'll pick him up and carry him.
Also, one of the best ways to teach him to walk nicely on a leash is to not let him walk not nicely on a leash. So if we can't control him, if there are a lot of distractions and he is going to pull, we'll just pick him up. Yeah. We'll prevent that behavior, and he won't learn that that's something that will get him what he wants. Why does he always have a leash on? So this is something we haven't always done, but we are doing with him because, 1, we live in a van and we leave the door open so often. We really want him to be on leash just in case he would jump out or fall out, which has happened, that we could easily snatch him up. However, more importantly, and we found it to be really helpful, keeping this house line on allows us to redirect him whenever he's getting into trouble and we don't want to swoop down and pick him up. So if you've ever had a dog, you might notice that when you go in to take something from your dog's mouth or try and stop them from doing something that's very rewarding for them, like eating a plant or tearing up your shoes, that they will quickly recognize your behavior and they will dart away with whatever they have. Yeah. If we have this house line on him, we can just pull this from afar and redirect him very gently and very easily and effectively.
We can also prevent him then from the behaviors that we don't want. So if we have a pair of shoes over there and we can tell that he's going to go for it, maybe he's just going to smell it and we'll, allow that. But if we know that, oh, this is something that he has chomped on before and he wants to do that, we'll just step on the leash before he gets there. And that's a way to prevent that behavior from even happening. So you don't have to deal with the consequences of it happening.
Yeah, you don't have to unlearn anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also very good for jumping and managing that.
Yes, absolutely. Just gives you a little bit more control over him. He's wild and crazy, and it's a good way, like Jess said, to have control over him without him learning that as soon as you come up to me, I'm going to take whatever I have in my mouth, I'm going to stuff it further in my mouth, and I'm going to run away.
Yeah. We want our dogs to be safe and to train them to be well-behaved.
What food are you feeding him? That's you.
This is also new for us. So after we trained service dogs, there was a 2-year gap between when we got Oliver. And in that time, I joined many a Facebook group about everything for dogs. And I started to learn a lot about the benefits of raw feeding a balanced raw diet. And we just decided to go for it. It became more and more important to me that our dog be really healthy and really have the best nutrition, so that way he could have the best chance at a long, healthy life, and also get all these other benefits like a nice coat, good eyes, clean teeth, healthy poops, and all these things. So we are feeding him Answer's Detailed Raw, which is a pre-made raw dog food that can be found at a lot of small animal pet stores on the East Coast.
Yeah. And once he gets bigger and he's not a puppy and growing every day, we will likely make our own raw formula for him. But when they're puppies, it's important that they have a balanced meal, balanced nutrition every single day. So going with a pre-made is just the best option for us, especially living in the van.
Especially with the van. If you're doing your own DIY raw, you really do need a lot of freezer space for all of your prep stuff. So
absolutely. Once Jess kind of learned, you spent years researching this, and once you learned everything there was to learn about it, it wasn't a question. It was this is what we're doing, and we just had to find a way to make that work.
Yeah.
So with the van, we bought a Dometic freezer and made space for that and made the room necessary and got that installed, and we can keep
a month and a half?
A month, I would say. Well, it changes all the time because he eats more every day almost. So we can keep maybe a month's worth of his food in the van right now.
Yes. Also, I really appreciate you sacrificing all of those things and getting on board with my passions.
Yeah. Okay. How do you train him so well? I would say just being consistent and putting in the effort.
Yeah,
like,
there's work.
There's so much work involved. Like, if you want a well-trained dog, you have to either take your dog to somebody who's going to train him, or you have to train them.
And it's not just the first 4 weeks or the first 6 months. You have to train them forever. It's going to be, they'll get better, obviously, as they get older, but it's not something we're ever going to stop doing. We'll keep training him.
Yeah. I think something that maybe people don't realize about training your dog, and what we did with the service dogs and what we're doing with him, is that he does not get treats when he's getting trained. Hey! He's very interested in our microphone. Oh, good boy.
Okay.
He's just laying down staring at it. Yeah, he does not get treats when he's being trained. We use his food. We use his raw food. If you've watched any of our videos or seen some bits and pieces of our training, you'll notice that we're like scooping out of a cup. That's his raw food. Or we use his Ziwi Peaks, which we use as 20% of his food, which are like little dehydrated raw kibble, but it's raw.
Yeah.
So if you whatever you're feeding your dog, if it's kibble, if it's raw, if it's canned food, whatever it is, use that to train them. So he doesn't get his breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a bowl sitting on the ground. We do that sometimes if we don't feel like training him, if we're tired, if we're over it, if he's being annoying and we're like, we just need a break.
But and also he he doesn't have to work for all of his food. He
Yeah.
gets all
Yeah.
of the food.
But there's absolutely nothing wrong with making your dog work for the food that they're eating, and it's a fantastic motivator. So you don't have to go out and buy all these extra treats. Just use the food that you're already giving them and give it to them differently. So give it to them while you're training them.
Yeah. It builds so much engagement, like, between the two of you. It helps with your bond. It helps your dog. Like, dogs like to work. They like the enrichment. It's really good for them to work with you, and it's very rewarding for them.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of benefits to feeding them their food that way.
Absolutely. So that's what I would say. Be consistent and put in the work and effort. It's a 24/7 job.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, the 5 minutes a day we're not watching him, we regret it, so.
Yeah.
Why did you get a boy dog? That's on me. I just wanted a boy dog.
That's it. It was never... You said that if I really, really, really wanted a girl dog, I could get one. Yeah. But that means no.
Ollie is technically Sarah's dog. Like, I'm picking the dog that I want second. You always wanted a golden retriever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and he's perfect. But I just like the boys. I don't know.
Yeah.
They win my heart.
All right, why didn't you adopt a rescue dog? Okay, for those of you that don't know, we got Ollie through a reputable breeder. We did not adopt him from a shelter. Reasons being, we did foster a dog through a rescue earlier this year, and we did sign up and look for many a puppy. We looked for months. For like 6 months, we looked for kind of any puppy. I mean, I really wanted a golden retriever, but we wanted a puppy.
We applied for many different kinds of dogs.
We applied through many different rescues all over the country. We looked all over the country. Obviously, we can drive.
I was telling Sarah, I was like, what's my limit? Colorado? Is that as far as I can go? But no, we looked everywhere. And we applied for several, and we weren't able to jump through all the hoops quickly enough to get any of these dogs before other people did.
Yeah, it seemed like, I mean, puppies are sought after,
of course,
more than older dogs. Yeah. And we wanted a puppy. We wanted a dog that we could train from day one, and hopefully socialize them as well as we could. That's really important, especially in the first month that you have the dog. If you get a dog when they're 8 weeks old until they're 12 weeks, that's really key development stage for them. Mm-hmm. So that was really important to us. And it didn't work out. We didn't get one from a rescue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, socialization starts even earlier than 8 weeks.
It does.
It starts when they're in their mother's womb, and how the mother's feeling really affects them. And so we were definitely willing and ready to go through a rescue, but there are also a lot of benefits from going through a reputable breeder. Yeah,
we have no problems getting a dog through a reputable breeder where you know that everyone is in the best environment that they can be.
Mm-hmm. Everybody is healthy and stress-free, getting a good diet. All of the developmental stages, being taken care of.
Yeah.
I would say if you are going to go through a breeder, do make sure to do your research. Obviously, there are a lot of terrible situations out there that we in no way support. And, I mean, there's also a lot of scams out there, too. So be sure to call the breeder, go and visit them in person before deciding on a dog, go again to visit the dog. Yeah. Do all of your research and make sure that you're going with somebody who's really loving on these dogs and taking care of them in the way that they should be.
Yeah. Absolutely. If you want info about the breeder that we went through, just send us a message and we would love to connect you.
Absolutely.
Is it hard living in a van with a puppy?
Well, we don't have to carry him down a flight of steps to go to the bathroom every night if we live in the van.
In some ways it's easier and in some ways it's harder. That's what I would say. Yeah. It's easier, number one, because it's such a small space, which seems counterintuitive, I know. But when you have a puppy, he requires 100% of your focus.
Yeah.
Like Jess said, if we stop watching him for 3 minutes, oh my gosh,
30 seconds.
He's
even
up to something.
Yeah.
Like, he is mischievous and
quiet
and does what he wants to do, and he's growing more independent every day. So having such a small space means that you have less room for him to get into trouble. And so if you don't have a small space, this is just a little tip. If you are in a house with a new puppy, definitely recommend, and what we did, get some baby gates, get an X pen, something.
Close all the doors.
Give them not the smallest space possible, but give them a room.
Yeah.
For you to manage them in.
Yeah.
For them to be off leash, for them to be running around. Provide them with the smallest space that you feel comfortable doing, and they will get into a lot less trouble.
Absolutely. I actually would say that also having him in the small space of our van made him a little bit more confident. He is very small, and he was coming to us from, straight from the breeder. He had 10 brothers and sisters. His mom was there, all these little girls running around, and he had a safe space. So when we brought him into the van, he learned his way around there very quickly, and he felt comfortable very quickly. I think that was really good for him.
Definitely. We get some comments saying, he's going to be such a big dog. How can you live in such a small space? That's not fair for him. Yeah. It's not okay to have a dog in a van, which for those people, I mean, I don't know what your background and experience is. If you've maybe lived in a small space with a dog before and realized that maybe it's not fair to them or not, I don't know. But for us, we live 90% of our lives outside.
Yeah.
So the fact that Oliver can go anywhere with us outside, we do not live our lives in the van.
Yeah. We eat and sleep there.
We eat and sleep in the van, and we live our lives outside, whether that's at a park, whether that's walking around a little neighborhood.
Or visiting friends and family.
Yeah. We do not confine him to the van when he's a puppy right now. So we are not going to confine him to the van when he's a big dog. And when he's a bigger dog, he's going to be so much more well-behaved and well-trained, and he's going to have a lot more freedoms. We have a long line that Ollie likes to use.
Yes, which, if you don't know what that is, I don't know if ours is 20 or 30 foot leash. Yeah.
Yeah. So. And, I mean, we would love one day for his recall to be as good so that he can be off-leash. I mean, there's a world of possibilities. So, in a lot of ways, I think having a dog in a van is better than having a dog in a house, even, because it forces you to get outside and interact with your dog a lot more than you maybe would in your house.
I would also say, counterintuitive again, but a lot of larger breed dogs actually need less exercise than the smaller breed dogs. So while you might think a Chihuahua or a little Shih Tzu would be better for a van, dogs like Great Danes are the best apartment dogs because they don't need that much exercise. So just something to keep in mind when you're considering a breed of dog for yourself.
Yeah. Top item for Ollie we can't live without. I would say his little fan.
Oh, that's it. Nailed it.
His fan. So we have this fan. I'll put a clip of it in right now. It is $25 on Amazon. USB charging. Holds its battery charge for like a day.
Yeah.
And he is obsessed with it.
Yeah.
You set it down on the ground, and he just goes and lays right in front of it and puts his face right up to it. And
regardless of whether or not he's inside in an air conditioning space or out in the van or outside, he loves the thing, and he sleeps so much better with it.
Yeah. Highly, highly recommended. We have a link for that below. It's $25, so obviously it's not going to be the most durable fan out there. We did have a problem with the cord for it already, but it's a really common... We had 2 other cords that can plug in and charge it, so.
Yeah, I love it. I would buy 2 more right now.
Yeah. And it's a great size. Oh my gosh, just set them up in a little semicircle around him. He would be in heaven. If anyone wants to send him one.
One piece of advice for new puppy owners.
That's us. We're new puppy owners.
One piece of advice. Well, they say you should get lots of sleep before your puppy arrives. Do that.
I would just probably say that it's normal to want to return your puppy at some point. That's a very normal thing.
Yeah.
Trainers say that. Friends that we have said that. Some of them have said I wanted to return my dog for the first 4 months that I had him.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a normal thing. It's an adjustment period. Your life is really going to change dramatically if you do not have any pets or don't have a dog and you get an 8-week-old puppy.
Yeah.
It's going to be flipped upside down, and it's okay to say that this is crazy and that this is really hard, and what are we doing? We made a wrong decision.
Yeah.
All of that. I think that that's totally normal. I have said that multiple times with him. Jess has maybe said that.
I maybe thought it. I don't think
I don't think she said it. But she's crazy. Yeah.
He is a lot of work.
It's going to be so much work, but hopefully it's going to be worth it.
But also we love him and we tell him that and smoosh his face every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
thank you guys for watching this video, and then thank you for your questions.
Yeah, absolutely. We enjoy sharing our lives with you all. And if you do have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. We try to answer those. And yeah, we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
I always get fearful that it wasn't on. Major cat.
Fun fact. I brought home Major Cat to my parents when I was in 11th grade. He's the worst. I'm so sorry about it. He was not properly socialized. We had no idea what we were doing. And now he's like super old and really not happy at all. And Ollie...
He's not nice. I'm sure he's happy.
He's not nice. Ollie only wants to be friends with him desperately. Like, it's his life ambition to be friends with Major Cat. And Major Cat just shuts it down every chance he gets.
With a hiss.
Yes, with a hiss and maybe like a swat. Anyway, see ya.